So first and foremost, let me define business arbitrage. So business arbitrage is all about acquiring or licensing an online business, one which already has proven demand or existing cash flow. So essentially you skip all of the painful guesswork of starting an online business from scratch and you just buy into the ones which are already succeeding. Now it's said that 95% of new businesses fail. The crazy thing is that most people ignore that and they still go ahead and start an online business. They think they're somehow going to be this chosen one. And the sad reality is, even with AI tools, so AI tools like ChatGPT can give you all of the ideas you want. You can ask ChatGPT today for $1 million business idea and it'll give you exactly everything that you need to do. From the idea, the offer, to the go-to-market strategy, to everything that needs to be done. But taking that idea, executing on it, and then translating that into revenue, that's where the difficult part is. Because everyone has access to ChatGPT now, which is also increasing the competition, in case you didn't know. So you don't really have a unique edge over anyone else because everyone has access to AI tools now. What will make you different is having an unfair advantage. And that's one of the reasons why leveraging business arbitrage is better than starting from scratch, because most people who start from scratch will fail. With business arbitrage, you're only buying or licensing into businesses that are already succeeding. It makes sense, right? Why would you go through the pain when you can save all of that time and effort and even money in the process? Or when I first got into online business, I was starting several different startups which failed miserably, is I would go into YouTube and scour through lots of free content and buy lots of courses. And I'm not saying any of the YouTube content or the courses I bought were bad. Like, I learned something in every single course I bought. The only thing is that the person who is imparting their wisdom onto you, they probably have 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years of experience over you. Do you really think that you, who's just started an online business, is going to be able to have the same experience as them in order to get the same results as them? Probably not. And a lot of the students they've coached already had an online business or had some online business experience, which obviously makes it a lot easier to make a business successful if you already have some background experience. But if you're starting with no experience, the reality is, even if you go ahead and pay for coaching to try and start an e-commerce business, a digital product business, an AI business, you are probably going to fail. And I know this because most of my coaches as friends, they only show the top 5% of their students that succeed. Most of them fail. But you only look at the testimonials from those who succeed. You don't see most of them that are not having success. And it's not actually funny. I mean, it's just the reality of the game. Whereas when you buy or license an online business, the failure rate is much lower because you're essentially walking into revenue. There's no arguing or ifs and buts about will the business succeed because it's already succeeding. It's already built. You just need to take it further. It's way easier to take a business from $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month than taking a business from completely zero to get into your first $10,000. Because getting to the first $10,000, there is so much work you need to do. The first thing is going to be your mindset. Do you actually believe you can hit $10,000 a month? Then you've got to go through all the systems, your operations, hiring the team, learning what works, the alignment. It's just a lot of work. When you can just go and acquire a company that's already making $10,000 a month and then scale it to 100 grand. And the thing is, which I'll break down in the other lessons, is you don't actually need to use all of your own money. Another limiting belief that people have about business arbitrage, buying online businesses, licensing online businesses, is that you need to have a shit ton of money to be a millionaire to go and buy a business. No, you don't, which I'll break down later. Now, there's 3 key pathways in business arbitrage, which I'll break down. And of course, if you want to work with us one-on-one to do this, then of course you can book in a call with us below. So the first pathway is to become a silent investor. And this is for you if you don't have any business experience, or maybe you do, but you don't really have enough time. Maybe you've got children, you've got a job, you've got other commitments. You just want to put some money in and get money out and not really have to touch it. Of course, you want to understand what goes into it because you want to know where your dollars or pounds are going, but you don't necessarily want to operate it. You don't want to have the stress of managing it. Essentially, what we can do as your partners, we can select the product for you. We can run the ads to generate the sales, because there's really only a few ways to generate sales. You can only run ads paid or do it free, which is organic traffic, but organic traffic takes a lot longer. So paid ads is the most predictable way to get sales. We can optimize the funnel and handle all the operations. The only thing that you need to do is pay a one-time licensing fee if you want to go for the licensing approach or renting approach, which is way more affordable than buying, and it's an easier foot in the door if you want to go into buying later on. And then we can do a profit split, for example, 50-50 on the net profit that we generate you. So essentially, you pay a licensing fee, you pay some ad spend, and then the rest is all on a performance basis, and we operate and manage everything for you. That's one approach. Now, this is the fastest and lowest cost path, but obviously you are going to relinquish some control in the beginning, so obviously we can make sure everything works according to plan. The next approach, if you want to gain some more control, is the active operator. So instead of us running the ads for you, we can consult you and help you to launch the ads for yourself. So you know everything that goes into launching the product. And instead of having a 50-50 profit split, we can reduce that share so you retain some more profit. And this is for you if you like to understand everything that goes into the business. You also want to gain some more control, and you don't necessarily want to pay as high of a rev share, and you want to retain more profit. This can work really well for you if you have more time than money. And the final option is the buyer side acquisition. And of course, we can have a hands-free approach of that as well. So some clients hire us to actually not only help them to buy the business, but also to operate it as well. We don't do this for every single client. It's just doesn't make sense for us. But for some clients, we can actually see we've got some congruence and we can actually help them and add value to the business. We can also manage it for you on a performance basis. But of course, you can just buy the business and operate it yourself, whichever one makes more sense for you. So we've got different options depending on your budget and depending on your situation and what your goals are. You want to be more hands-on, do you want to be more hands-free? And we can walk through all of those options as well on a call if you book in a call with us below. So I'm just going to ask a few questions around business arbitrage. So one of the first questions is, isn't starting an online business cheaper? And on paper, it might seem that way because a lot of gurus online will tell you, here's how to start this business with $0 and here's how to start that business with $100. And both you and I know the reality of it in terms of opportunity cost, trial and error, paying for their courses. It turns out to be a lot more than just a little subscription. It's a lot more expensive than you think. And you might not see it instantly, but over a course of a few months, over a course of a year, several years of trying at online business and failing, that cash that you've wasted, you probably spend a lot more than you think. Because when I was getting into starting online businesses, I spent about 30 grand. I didn't realize it on different mentorships, courses, tools, software that got me absolutely nowhere. Whereas if I put that 30 grand, or even less really, and put that for a deposit for a business, finance the rest, I'll be miles ahead compared to where I am today. I'll just save myself all of the time, all of the pain, and all my energy that I put into this. I could put it into a business that I already knew was going to work from the beginning because it was already making money. And I could have scaled that existing business. Another question we get is around AI and the gold rush, because everyone and their dog is talking about AI and how this is going to change the world. Like, there's two sides of the AI gold rush. There's going to be the winners and there's going to be the losers. So apparently, like, the losers are the people that are going to basically get the jobs, they're going to be wiped out, and the winners are going to be those who own the AI companies. And whilst I believe that to be true to an extent, I think that's a very watered down version of what's going to happen in the online business space. Because most AI companies, which aren't really AI companies, they're companies that have AI in their branding, unfortunately, most of those will fail. Just because you claim you have an AI company doesn't mean you actually run an AI company and doesn't mean it's going to be valuable to most investors. With that being said, there will be 5% of these so-called AI companies that will prevail in this gold rush and that will go on top. Whereas most of these AI fads, I'm just going to call it for what it is, most of these AI fads will fail. So if you are looking into AI, you're probably really excited, want to get into the space, you definitely should. A lot of the online businesses, whether it's in e-commerce, whether it's in digital products, whether it's in SaaS or service, you can implement AI into those companies that can make it more valuable, but only once you've acquired a company that's already proven, that already has solved product market fit, meaning there's already demand, there's people paying for this product. Then you can worry about incorporating AI into a non-AI business. But if you're like, oh, let me just try and start the next AI company, chances are you're probably going to fail. And that's just a sad reality of the space. And another concern, especially from people just starting and just looking into online business, is if you're a complete beginner, can you actually make this work? Because I know what you're thinking right now. Buying a business sounds like this big ordeal and you need to raise all of this money and all of these things. And I'm telling you, anyone can buy a business as long as they believe they can. Anyone can buy a business with the right tools and systems. And in this program, I'll be giving you everything that you need possible to get into the business licensing or business acquisition space. So you can skip all of the guesswork. You can skip all of the painful experiences that maybe you're about to go through or maybe have been through. when starting an online business and just operate or run a business that's already making money.